I've made it pretty clear by this point that I'm a huge fan of superheroes, comic books, video games, a lot of things that are considered nerd culture, if you will. And the more that I get involved with them, the more that I dig through the history and the lore and find out about these characters and the people who created them and all these things, the more I am astounded at the group of people who just hate anything new and claim it all as woke. And the irony is, they don't even really use the term properly. They don't even know what woke actually means. Hey everyone, my name's Christian Verstappen, and I have a lot to say about many things. I want to talk about, well, a few things here. So, I want to start with, as I mentioned, comic books. In March of this year, actually I think it was February that the first issue was actually released, we saw the introduction of Ultimate Spider-Man 2024. For those that are unaware, there was an Ultimate Spider-Man in the 2000s, and now there is a new where Peter was a teenager, and there was a whole Ultimates Marvel universe, and now we have a new Ultimate Universe, and fans are loving it so far. Like the Spider-Man Reddit loves it. People in general are loving it. One of the things that it does is it does a lot of things that we've been wanting for a long time in the main universe for Spider-Man. It lets Peter be married to Mary Jane again. He has kids. He's older. He's not working. I mean, he is working for the Bugle, but it's not like a dead-end job. He's not miserable all the time. It's such a breath of fresh air. It's such a breath of fresh air. I am loving this series so far. It's great. And as with it being a new series, it takes a lot of liberties. Like I said, Peter's older. He's a family. He's very much a family man. And there are a lot of different changes. Peter doesn't even get his abilities until Tony Stark shows up to him in a hologram and gives him this little capsule which has the spider and a suit that works through some type of nanomachines or something. It works kind of like the symbiote does, except it doesn't, try to take over his body or bring out his rage or whatever. But it's really cool how this is all done. There's an issue where the entire issue is spent with Peter coming clean and revealing his secret identity to his family, and there's no issues, there's no anything. Everybody's supportive of it. MJ seems kind of turned on by it even. And speaking about that, the relationship between the two of them in this series is just absolutely incredible. But for all the things that it changes, it has Harry Osborn in a Green Goblin type of suit. This is this one here. It has him in a type of Green Goblin suit. In a type of Iron Man suit that he turns into the Green Goblin shtick. Uncle Ben is alive, and I want to make that really clear. Uncle Ben, the person whose death encourages, for lack of a better word, inspires Peter to become Spider-Man in the first place, is alive in this. That is a really big deal. There are many different things that this comic changes as adaptations, and in this case, new universes do. However, there's one specific change that a lot of people are not liking. See, in the latest issue, we had Kingpin talking about basically different people that he worked with and he was kind of recruiting to help him. They all kind of own a part of the city and all these different things, right? One of the people he talked about was, as he says here, Walter Hardy, the original Black Cat. And there's this little moment here where they mentioned that, he's married to, he has a wife who passed away, and he also has a daughter. This daughter, of course, is Felicia Hardy. So obviously, people had a very normal reaction when they saw this as the new Black Cat. Now, I want to point this out just right off the bat. She looks fine as hell. Like, let's be honest. Let's be 100,000% honest. She looks fine as hell. I understand this is what we're used to Black Cat looking like, Felicia Hardy looking like, and that's great for the 616 universe. This is a different universe. You'd think for all the things that have changed, people would be okay with this, and many people are. But of course, we have the usual suspects like JDA Talks Comics here, doing his yellow flash style video, Ultimate Spidey is over, because it has a black woman. They made Felicia Hardy black. Now, I do want to be clear about this. I don't love the fact, so there's two things about this. One, there are things that you can critique here, I think. I don't love the fact that, she doesn't have the white hair anymore, or any of like the white, aspects of her costume. It doesn't have to be white. It can be pink or green or whatever color, blue for all I care. It doesn't matter. But I do think she should have something to really distinguish her from like Catwoman of DC. And a lot of people say that Black Cat is a ripoff of Catwoman anyway. This look, I don't think, helps with that mentality. However, I also think that these silver gauntlets here do a good amount to, kind of resolve that issue. Also, the silver heels. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even notice she has little like claws, little cat-like claws. That's cool. I do think that those things can definitely be done to resolve the issue. I also personally don't like when a character has the name Black in their name and they are in fact black. It feels lazy and kind of gross and racist, to be honest. But Black Cat was already a character that existed. So, here she is. It's just a new take on a familiar character. It's an entirely new universe. And yet, this is the end because it's woke. Why is it woke? Because it has a black character, and specifically a character who has typically been depicted as very white. It's a new universe. I could understand the complaint to more of an extent if it was an adaptation of this Black Cat, but it isn't. This is an entirely different universe. And even on that note, I've talked about this before, while I don't like race swaps happening in adaptations, I understand it, and adaptations are always going to change things, so it's like, you can't like pick and choose what you're okay with them changing and what you're not. Like, I would love things to stay as true to the source material as possible in all aspects. However, that's never going to happen. That's literally never happened with any book, movie, TV show, anything that's ever been adapted into anything ever. It is not ever going to happen, much as I would like it to. So yeah, Felicia Hardy is black. Well, actually, she's half black, as you can. Where'd it go? As we can see here, she has a white father and a black mother. But it's woke because of this. Now, I love what Comic Book Herald responded with here. Worst people in comics fandom. Marvel is too woke for hot women in comics anymore. Marvel introduces hot new Black Cat. Worst people. Woke nightmare. No, 100%. She's bad as fuck. Like, I mean, seriously. Serious. And there are other images of her, official and fan art, that are also really good. And my god, like, she's amazing. You think this woman isn't going to be like a beautiful hot sex symbol like 616 Felicia Hardy is? I mean, come on. Why we gotta put? Why do we gotta pit? How does that phrase go? Like, why do we gotta pit two bad bitches against each other? Right? They're both amazing. They're like, they can both exist. They're in different universes. Let them be. And I love when you're so racist you can't even enjoy classic cover booty. True. Anyone complaining about the best take on Spider-Man in years deserves zero attention. No, 100%. Again, actual fans of Spider-Man, we are loving this comic. It is so much of what we've wanted for so long, like since 2006 or 7, when One More Day happened, and I will never forgive Joe Quesada for it's just I can't. It's awful. I can't. Um, no, this is incredible. It's an incredible series. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's ultimate, if you will. It is the ultimate Spider-Man right now. And yeah, they're gonna change things. So what? So Black Cat doesn't look like this. So what? It's a new take. Again, Peter's in his 30s. Uncle Ben is alive. All of that is okay. But oh, we have a black woman. Oh, now it's woke. But that is what woke means to these people. That's not what woke actually means, and we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to what woke actually means later here. But here's another example. So there was the show Batman: The Caped Crusader that was announced a while ago and officially released. I should say, I mean, it was announced long ago, but it was released on Amazon Prime. And when I first saw it, I was very interested. I was like, oh, this is going to be based off the Golden Age comics. Cool. We had, we already had the animated series, which was very much the Earth 1 as it is in the DC universe. We had Batman the Brave and the Bold based off the Silver Age comics. And now we're having Batman Caped Crusader based on the Golden Age comics. Cool. I'm looking forward to it. And especially as I've recently actually been reading the Golden Age comics, I'm interested. I'm very interested. This is what I'm talking about when I say the more that I look into this stuff and learn about how the history of these characters actually are, the more I'm baffled by these anti-woke people. So the usual suspects got very mad because there is a female character named Penguin who, look, I totally get it. Oswalda Cobblepot, terrible name, but there's nothing wrong with making Penguin a woman. Who cares? This is, now, look, I'll go back to what I said earlier. You might think, oh, well, what did you say about you want an adaptation to be true to the source material? You're right, I do. But I can also understand that it's not going to happen. And I can respect that this is a take that is loosely based off of the 1940s, the Golden Age Batman, but it is not the Golden Age Batman print to screen. That is what I would like. That is not what this is. It has an Asian and lesbian Harley Quinn. It has a black Commissioner Gordon and Barbara Gordon. And people are, of course, mad. Now, you might wonder, by the way, hey, why are you going to look at these things, but you're not going to actually go through the video? Do you really think I need to go through do you think I know what they're not going? Do you think you don't know what they're going to say? It's all the same shit. Oh, DEI, woke, race swap, gender swap. It's part of the agenda. It's the same talking points we've heard time and time again. But the reality is, comic books and fiction in general have never been consistent. The more that I actually read original comics and see early adaptations of beloved franchises and stuff that I love so much, the more that I find this is how it's always been. New people come into something and continue a franchise. They are going to put their own ideas and, yes, their agenda, so scary, the things that they believe in and care about. Just like the people that came before them did with that, and so on and so forth. What's that, there's a meme of this that I saw where it has a kid um watching Spider-Man on a screen, and he's like, "Don't be racist." And they're like, "Okay, Spider-Man," as a little kid. And then it has them as an adult, and he's like, "Don't be racist." And they're like, "Oh, Spider-Man's woke." And it's the same kid because like they grew up into a shitty person and didn't even learn the lesson really from Spider-Man or any of these characters. You know, one of the important things about Spider-Man and all this stuff is that anyone can wear the mask. Like that was always an Jesus Christ, racist Spider-Man. That was one of the important things. I can't find. Is this it? No, can't find it. But I mean, either way, I think talking about it, you probably get the idea of what I'm on about. Are we? Maybe I can find it on Twitter here. Never know what's gonna come up on here. Fucking Musk and his bots and everyone ruined it. Let's see. If I can find it this way, because I originally saw it on. Come on. Okay, I'm not gonna find it. But if any of you have seen it before, you've probably. I mean, again, you get the idea at the very least. But in any case, yeah. So when these people say something is woke, what they mean is it has the real. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that they're using DEI as what they really mean for it now, because that is what they mean. What they're really against is diversity and inclusion. They're against seeing and having to think about and acknowledge that people different than them exist. Like that's really what they're mad about. Because let me tell you right now, Batman the Caped Crusader is not woke. It flirts with the idea of wokeness in a few instances, but it is not actually woke. Batman the Caped Crusader. So let me explain what I'm talking about here. So people are mad about, like I said, Harley Quinn and Montoya, sorry, Renee Montoya as well, who are lesbians. Which Renee Montoya has been a lesbian in the comics for a long time now. But again, these reactionaries don't care about the source material they claim to love and want to protect and all that shit. There was so minor spoilers, but this is what I mean by it flirts with the idea of wokeness. There's a character who's a ghost whose whole thing is they are stealing from the poor and giving to themselves, and they were a wealthy aristocrat when the United States of America was founded, and they hated the founding fathers because of democracy and all these different things. And that's all well and good for like the American myth, but it's not really true. It's not like once America was founded, everybody, including, the working class, were just living large or anything like that. I mean, we had child labor throughout the Industrial Revolution and stuff, and like, we're just going to pretend that shit didn't happen. And see, that's one of the issues that I think exists with this Batman series. It wants to it wants to take the aesthetic of the 40s, but not actually tackle any of the issues of the day. I think a really good way to do this would be, yes, leave the main cast white, cis, whatever. Maybe there could even be some people who are in the closet about some things. And maybe even get these, like, anti-woke people on board at first. They see, oh, finally, we have an all-white cast, because that's what they really want, right? And then you kind of sucker punch them when you have scenes of, maybe you have Batman being a dick and he's also racist or homophobic and he has to work through that. Maybe you have moments where Batman or other characters are defending, people against racism or homophobia. Many different ways you could go about this. But I do think that it's a missed opportunity to have this setting and yet not actually do anything with it. I kind of feel like if they wanted to just let everybody be as if they were in modern times, then just have it set in modern times. I don't know. It's very jarring. And there are people who will make that complaint, as it were, that criticism, and really they just want all white people. That's their real issue. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to do this, do something with it. So again, this is what I mean where it says it flirts with the idea of wokeness. Throughout the entire series, there are two cops that are very crooked. Now, granted, they do make a point of saying that most of the police force are bought off, but they don't really do much with it. I mean, you do have plenty of moments where there are plenty of, good cops, and the idea is that, oh, these are just some of the bad ones, if you will, a few bad apples. And you have Commissioner Gordon doing his thing, trying to make things right in the police force and all that. But nothing is really addressed. There's no critique of the systemic issues that cause police to be the way that they are. There's none of that. The narrative is most of the police force are good, and there are a few bad apples. It's that, that kind of nonsense. And I don't mean to say either that all police officers are bad, or that, they're never going to help you, or you should never call them if you need them or anything. But there are many systemic issues that cause police officers to be not the best toward a lot of different groups of people. And this show pays lip service to things like that, but again, doesn't actually do anything with it. In fact, there's a specific section that I think is very anti-woke that, funnily enough, these people should love. Batman goes to therapy, which is something he absolutely should do. And yet, in the end of the episode that he goes to therapy, he doesn't stay in therapy. The message is essentially, he doesn't need it, or at least he doesn't think he needs it. We find out in the next, I think it's the next episode, but we find out in a later episode that the therapist, of course being Harley Quinzel, turned out to be using her therapy to extract secrets from really horrible people, and when they wouldn't change their ways, forced them, kind of like brainwashed them in some way, forced them into giving up their money and then killing themselves. What is the message there? Is the message not to trust therapists? Is the message that mental health is a sham or something like that? See, this show, like I said, it flirts with the idea of wokeness, of woke ideas, if you will. But this show isn't woke, not in the slightest. It pays lip service, but it doesn't actually say anything. And I'm not saying that it has to. You could have a perfectly fine Batman show and not address any of these issues, but don't pretend like you're going to then. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to have a show that is trying to be as neutral as possible, then be neutral. Don't take a little step into addressing something real and then backing out because it's clearly going to upset, well, people like this that it already upset. It's just extremely annoying. And it's sad. But like I said, it's paying lip service to wokeness. I opened this video by saying that these people don't even know what wokeness means. And I hold true to that. Because these guys literally, when they think something is woke, they literally think representation. Representation of people they don't like or they don't see themselves in, or whatever the case. That is what woke means. It's just inclusion. So again, I kind of like that they are just using DEI, because that is really what they're mad about. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's it. That's what they're mad about. And of course, there is also validity to the idea that DEI really is just, a subtle way for them to basically say the N-word as well. A dog whistle. But that's what they're mad about. They're mad that these groups of people that they don't like exist. I mean, look how people reacted to Grand Theft Auto, the whole notion of like, oh, we don't want to, it's bad enough we have to see these people in real life. Like, we don't want to see them in our fantasy world too. What the fuck, dude? Like, Christ, can you be more like bigoted about this shit? It's insane. But that is not what woke actually is. Woke, as it comes from AAVE, is essentially to be aware of societal and systemic issues that affect yours and others' communities. That is why it's called woke, because it's like being woke up, being aware. And now we're going to talk about some things that are actually woke. And one other thing that isn't, but we'll touch on it. The Boys. The Boys is one of my favorite TV shows. I've been following it since 2019. I've loved it ever since. And yes, one of the things I really like about it is its social and political commentary. Go figure. But it's just such a good show, man. I mean, the acting, the production value, the story, the characters, the everything. And yet, there are groups of people, I always thought it was a joke, but there are groups of people who legitimately think Homelander is the good guy. Evident in posts like this. The Boys Season 4 really pissed off a lot of conservatives. Yeah, Season 4 is woke. So, is it woke or no? Yeah, it's woke. It seems that it does favor leftists or the Starlight people rather than the MAGA, which are the pro-Homelander people. Bro, you are admitting that you see your movement in Homelander, who is literally the villain. You're not the good guys. It's like that, are we the baddies? Yes, you're the baddies. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Oh, and then you had, like I said, just like with those other things, we had Ryan Kinnell, The Boys Season 4 gets destroyed by fans. Fans hate this. Destroyed by fans after. No, it fucking didn't. No, it fucking didn't. Neither did Batman. When the Caped Crusader first came out, it was #1 on Prime for a good while. I remember. I think were we catching up on The Boys or Invince? No, we were catching up on The Boys. It surpassed The Boys, but The Boys is still doing really well, and it will continue to do well because people love the show. It's a great fucking show. It's a great show. I love it. It's great. I mean, I can't sing its praises enough. Now, The Boys was also based off of a comic, which from what I haven't like really delved into it yet, but from what I've seen of it, I mean, it's not nearly as good as the show, in my opinion. And it is its own take on these characters. They made Stormfront a woman. There was a literal Nazi in this show who radicalized some loser in a basement into going and killing an immigrant that worked at his local, what are those, a convenience store. And conservatives watched this show and said, yeah, no, it's okay. We're people that are on Homelander's side, we're on Homelander's side, the MAGA thing, yeah. We're the good guys. Yeah. Fucking brain dead. These but The Boys actually is woke. Because at least they're not getting mad about, I don't know, black people or gay people. Instead, they're getting mad at the actual social and political critiques and the commentary that The Boys provides. One of the things I love about it too is it's so like, it shits on the liberals too, because you have the whole, and I don't mean progressives, I mean liberals that are like fucking like pearl clutchers and shit. But it shits on how like Disney and companies will act like they love gay people during Pride Month and stuff, and then after that they'll hide little scenes of gay people in movies and stuff, so their movies can still do well in China and all that, right? And it critiques things like that, and it critiques the MCU and capitalism and corporate greed, and it is such a good show. Like, if you are remotely interested, I mean, especially if you're interested in superheroes, but if you are remotely interested in like anything social or political, and you're interested in superheroes, you owe it to yourself to check out The Boys. There are some moments where you're going to have a bit of a strong stomach, but it's worth it. My God, the show is so good. I can't. I could just go on and on. It's such a good show. But The Boys actually is woke. Why The Boys went woke? It's been woke. Aaron Kripke is a leftist. The director and everything of the show. Like, what it's I might have said Eric Kripke. It's such a good show. Yeah, the woke narrative is played out. That's true. 41 minutes though. Yeah, definitely not going over that. But again, like, what do you think this video is going to be? If you think like, oh, why don't you go over this? Come on. What do you think this video is going to be? Genuinely. Oh. This Rose didn't have the cursor, but it's back now. Anyway, come on. Like, what do you think this is going to be? Do you really need me or anybody to like debunk this and go over this? Like, really? It's always the same talking points. Now, we're going to look at another example of what isn't actually wokeness. And then we're going to look at another example that is, and it might surprise you. So, there's been this thing happening with Tomb Raider for a while called the unification, where they are trying to basically put 2013 reboot Lara Croft and meld it into the like 96 classic Tomb Raider, if you will. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I'm kind of fine with them just being two separate things. It's kind of how I want it to be. Like Golden Age Batman and Earth 2 Batman and all the other examples we looked at. But, we have here a host of exclusive Lara Croft cosmetics are on the way, blah, blah, blah. Wait, what are they? Oh, this isn't even the thing. Oh, this isn't even the thing about her being lesbian. Okay, well, there was something that recently came out about her potentially being lesbian. And look, okay, so what? But this is what is wild to me. We have coming on August 28th. By the way, this is about the Nakara Blade Point. They're calling this... Okay. I just realized I didn't actually put this back on the screen. So we have Laura here and some other character. I'm actually going to pull this up in a minute because I've seen this, and this is actually really cool. Here. All right. We're going to take a look at this goddess of a woman. Whoops, nope, spoilers. This beautiful, look at this. And look at the comments. Man-face Lara. My guess is that instead of being about Lara Croft being an adventurer and survivor, looting tombs of visible treasures, it's going to be about her being a carpet muncher, feminist, against the patriarchy, blah, blah. It's all the same bullshit. So there have been talks, and there have been talks in the fan base for a while about if, especially reboot Lara or Survivor Lara, as it's called, is a lesbian, and she might be. I don't know. I don't care. If a character, she's a fictional character. Even if she is canonically lesbian, it doesn't mean if you find her attractive, you can't still find her attractive. Like, it doesn't matter. Gay people find, gay men find straight men in media and even celebrities in real life attractive. Lesbians find straight women attractive, and so on and so forth. They're not real. You're not going to get with them anyway. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, what are you... she's not real. Like, Lara Croft isn't real. Which, of course, anyone who played the games, men saw Lara Croft as sexy. Yeah, because This isn't sexy. Are you kidding me? Bro, seriously? The pose, the outfit, even rocking the midriff, which I am a huge fan of, love it. Um, oh, spoilers again. We'll get to it. Like, really? Really? Yeah, man face, not sexy. Are you serious right now? Are you kidding me? Like, what do you want? I find it hilarious that they'll say things like this when in reality, um, the most like the Laura that many of these people hate, the 2013 Survivor Laura, is literally the Laura that has been used to make a lot of NSFW content. People know she's hot. What are you talking about? She's gorgeous. Like she's amazing. What is this? It just it just doesn't make sense. But even still, it's not woke. Let me give you an example of something that is. Ben 10 Alien Force. Now, I was watching this with my friend. We were, we were going through we watched the original Ben 10 series, when he was a kid, and then we started watching Alien Force, which I much prefer Alien Force. Much better story, much better characters, and there is some, kind of social, political commentary. I mean, that exists in most things, because that's the way art is. But the main villains are this alien race called the Hybrid, who you see here. And the Hybrid are literally trying to destroy all planets in the galaxy for one simple reason. Their race is dying out. Why is their race dying? And they want to take everyone else down with them. Why is their race dying out? Because they refuse to breed with other races. Their racial supremacy is destroying them. And how do they save the day? It's not by killing them, it's not by anything like that. No. There is a character who Ben saves by giving him some of his DNA, and basically replacing his arm with another alien's. And he realizes what he saw as an impurity actually makes them stronger. And he goes to this like council of people that you see here in this image. And Ben makes all of their DNA fused with random aliens. And they're no longer racially pure. But now they can survive, they can continue on. The message? Bigotry and hatred of other races will destroy you. It will. And I was talking with my friend about this, and I was like, bro, imagine if this came out today. If you think these fuckers wouldn't be against this, if you think we wouldn't be seeing shit like this with Ben 10, but I don't know, because maybe they wouldn't pick up on it because, I don't know, Ben's not black or something. Maybe that's what they need. Because clearly the fact that Stormfront was an actual Nazi wasn't enough. They had to have MAGA actually spelled out for them. They had to have Homelander actually saying things like, I don't know, make America safe or strong again, or whatever he said, which is funny because those are things Trump's actually saying now. But, like, bro, look, I get it. Change is odd. Change is scary. And it is natural to not like change and have a knee-jerk reaction to it. But you gotta get over it. You just gotta. When I was growing up, I've mentioned before how I'm a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I was introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog through Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. My version of Sonic is what is now known as modern Sonic, with the green eyes, more of a serious take on the story, some voice acting, all that 3D gameplay for the most part, all that stuff. That is my Sonic. But for many people, their Sonic is classic Sonic, the one that started in the 90s. And I saw a lot of vitriol and hatred toward my version of Sonic. And I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why people hated this so much. Now I understand people are just resistant to change. But just as it was ridiculous for people to hate modern Sonic, and I could see that, and I could learn to appreciate and accept classic Sonic as well, it's the same thing with these kind of things. Whether a character's race or design or whatever it is changes through a different interpretation of the character, whether there's, any other kind of diversity and inclusion of different races or people's sexualities or genders or what have you, it's fine. The adaptations are always going to change things. Different universes have full right to change whatever they want. Ultimate Spider-Man, the original Ultimate Spider-Man, is how we got Black Nick Fury. Yet nobody complains about that. Let me find it here. In the original 616 comics, well, here, let me. I would prefer to have. Okay, thank you. In the original 616 comics, Nick Fury was white. He also had hair and an eye patch. It wasn't until the 2000s when we had Ultimate Comics where we had Black Nick Fury. And my God, would these people be bitching about this today. But just like Black Felicia Hardy, just like Black Jim or Barbara Gordon or any of these other characters, these universes change things. Adaptations change things. It's just the way it goes. But it isn't woke just to have representation. That's a good step. But wokeness is actually looking at and addressing the societal issues at play. But to the reactionaries, woke is just when black people, when black person exists, when gay person exists. And the mere existence is enough for them to completely write off an entire franchise or series or whatever it might be. And that must be so sad to hate something that you claim to love. Like, you're not a fan of these things. These people are not fans. The Star Wars theory or whatever that guy's called, he's not a fan of Star Wars. Yellow Flash is not a fan of superheroes. None of these guys are fans. They might be fans of the older stuff, and that's fine. The new stuff, just, you don't like it. That's fine. Going back to Batman again as an example, I don't like the Silver Age. I hate Silver Age 60s goofy fucking bullshit comics. I hate them. I hate them. But you know what? They changed from the darker versions that existed in the 60s, in the 40s to 50s, 30s, really 30s to 50s. And from the 70s on, they changed again. And they'll change again, because change is inevitable. It will always, always, always happen. And it's okay if you don't like the direction that certain media is going. But it doesn't mean it's woke just because you don't like it or because it has characters that you don't like the way they look or what have you. It's insane. It's insane. Like, yeah, I understand the knee jerk reaction. I understand the distaste for race swapping in general. I get it. But when it's a whole new universe, a whole new take on something, what gives? There's a character in the Batman the Caped Crusader show, by the way, who is a darker skinned person. I think she's supposed to be black. She's a darker skinned character one way or the other, and she's played by a white woman. You don't see people complaining about that. Now, they did complain about that with Big Mouth, but my take on that personally is voice actors are voice actors. They can act with their voice and do the character the way that it's supposed to be. I don't think it matters. But I also understand the issue of taking away that part from somebody who could play that. But Lacey Chabert did a great job playing that character. I don't remember the character's name, but she did a great job playing that character. But man, these people just get so mad about stupid shit. Even that whole I mean, come on. You're gonna look at this. You're gonna tell me this. Oh, sorry. You're gonna tell me this isn't a beautiful, fucking gorgeous woman? You're gonna tell me if a woman. You're really gonna tell me if a woman walked up to this like you and wanted to date you or hook up with you or something, you wouldn't jump at the chance? Are you kidding? Now they didn't say anything about her. I don't think they can say anything about her because she just. I mean, Laura's amazing, but she just blows her out of the water. I'm not gonna lie. But like, holy shit! And I think that's probably what the Laura skin is of. Now that I think about it, but like, come on. You're gonna say this is man face? You're gonna she's fucking beautiful. You're gonna get mad about a baddie like Black Cat just because she's race swapped? Come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Why are you? You're gonna get mad at like new takes on Batman and all these different things. Like, what are you doing? What is this? Why? The media has never been consistent. The adaptations on all that stuff, it's always changed. And that's okay. It's inevitable. You're not always going to like the changes. I don't always like the changes. But you can either learn to accept them and move along, or they're just not for you. I mentioned Spider-Man earlier in One More Day. I haven't read an Amazing Spider-Man comic since that. I've kept up with them and I'm familiar with the franchise and all that. And I'll get to them eventually as I'm currently reading through all of the everything. Eventually I'll get to it. But these people are insufferable. I just I don't know. It's really sad. It's really sad. We have a new baddie, Felicia Hardy. We have a great new take on Batman. We have baddie. Um, Great new take on Batman. It's not perfect. It's not my favorite Batman, but hey, it is what it is. We have a beautiful Lara Croft, and all these people can say is that it's woke because, I mean, with Lara they're really grasping at straws. I don't understand that one at all. But like, come on, dude. I think that this the comic book Herald thing. This really does sum it up. And even this one, when you're so rich you can't enjoy, uh, you know, classic cover booty. Yeah, 100%. Like, Oh yeah, and as they mention here, like a bunch of characters have their, you know, their races have been changed. We have Ultimate Hawkeye in this Ultimate universe is Native American. She-Hulk is Polynesian. It's a new universe. They're allowed to make changes. Again, this shit would have been hated if it came out today. But bro, it's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. Learn to accept it, appreciate it, move on. Or if you don't like it, don't consume it. But you don't have to hate on it and yuck other people's yum. Anyway, I've kind of said everything I can at this point. Just kind of, you know, not shutting up right now. So I'll do just that. As always, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more. Subscribe, ring the bell to stay up to date. Leave a like if you like. And if not, I hope you find something to do like. Later, guys. Peace and love.